As I said in my build video, the van is always enough, but it's also never done. And so today we're going to talk about 5 things that are currently wrong with the van. I've been building my van for 6 years, and let me be clear that the build is part of the journey. It's not just about the places that we go and visit, but it's also just taking what's in my head and making it a reality. There's a constant iterative process to building out the van where we use it, I realize that there's something missing or something that I want to tweak, and then I identify that problem and I problem solve that problem, and then rinse and repeat. And I find a lot of satisfaction in that process. So while these are 5 things that are wrong with the van, I have plans on how to fix them. So it's 2026, and as a car guy, I think it's so cool to be in an era where 4K backup cameras are standard, where we have in-dash tire pressure monitors. And this may be a hot take, but being south of the Mason-Dixon line, I think that having ventilated seats is more important than having heated seats. And these are the OEM factory seats that were installed when the van was built in 2015. And I have a temporary solution, this Amazon seat cover, that does something, right? It has a inbuilt fan, and it does provide a little bit of airflow. But especially with how long we drive at times, being able to have airflow in between you and the seat, I think makes just such a world of difference when it comes to comfort. So I really want to swap out these OEM seats and go with something that is ventilated. Something that's a little bit more modern, just like the 4K backup camera, just like the in-dash tire pressure monitor. And I found 2 solutions. The first is to do a reupholstery kit through leatherseats.com. They have a kit that replaces both the fabric, I think you can do some of the foam as well, but they also have a module that includes a fan-based ventilation system and a heating element, and that way they would have both heating and cooling. The other option is to go with brand new seats and replace the OEM seats completely with Scheelman seats. So the Scheelman Klima has the option for both heat and ventilation, and I can get double armrests, which would be very comfortable. We also have the Scheelman, I got them secondhand, but I have a pair of Scheelman seats as the rear passenger seats, and they're very comfortable. The downside being they're much more expensive. So it's something that I very much want to do this year, but it is lower on the totem pole. Next up is the lack of roof-mounted solar panels. And candidly, this is super low on my to-do list. First off, for the way that we travel, we're really not going too far off the beaten path. There's a lot of value for us in going to places like state parks that already have hookups, clean facilities, things of that nature, especially because we don't have and will not have an onboard bathroom. Second thing is that our biggest power draw is the air conditioner, and I really only need to run that in the evenings. So the purpose of it is that we can stay cool and comfortable, especially in hot climates while we sleep. I'll run it a little bit during the day just for comfort and keep the van cool, make sure that the fridge doesn't work too hard. But I have 824 amp hours between 4 206 amp hour SOK batteries. And that is plenty to run our auxiliary air conditioner through the evening and provide us with a solid 8 hours of sleep. Adding rooftop solar would be helpful, where we'd be able to, especially the hottest parts of the year, typically when there's the most sun, and so having roof-mounted solar would continue to top off our batteries late into the evening, and then as soon as the sun starts to rise in the morning. And so if we were not able to use shore power, then there would be a whole lot of utility and a whole lot of benefit to having rooftop solar. I do have a transportable mobile folding 200 watt panel that I may experiment with. That way potentially I can park the van in the shade and I can put the panel out where it can catch the most sun. But at the moment it's low on my to-do list. Our two main sources of recharge are shore power and then also off the alternator while we're driving. I've got a Victron DC to DC charger, and it tops off the batteries as we go. So that's why I do intend to get rooftop solar, just not right away. Next up is something that I think that I can tackle pretty quickly, and that's improving the security inside the van. When we step away, especially if we go for a hike or we go for an activity and we're camping and we have so many of our personal belongings in here, then I would really like to have the peace of mind that I can keep an eye on things while we're away from the van. So there are a few structural changes that I'm planning, and I'll share those in the coming weeks and months. I'm going to be fabricating some new things, and I'll share some, not all of those, right? I need to keep some secret, otherwise what's the point of having them as security devices? But I do think that an easy win that I can do up front is installing a Wi-Fi camera. I can run it off the Starlink, connect it to the Starlink, and that way I can monitor it while we're away. But I also think it's really important to have a security system that can run off of its own battery and also store to its own SD card. And that way, if there is an interruption in the internet connection, then I'm still recording and I'm still having that footage. Having a few additional items, a few additional capabilities, like being able to do the two-way audio where I can speak through the camera, would give me a large amount of peace of mind. But I think this is something that I can tackle pretty quickly for not too much, and I can integrate it into the existing electrical system. So that's why it sits a little bit higher up on the to-do list than on the punch card. So the next issue is creating space for used active gear. So I think the best example of this is snowy skis. There's not a whole lot of space inside the van. And so when we go skiing and we go from hill back to wherever we're staying, or if we want to go from hill and go get a bite to eat in town, then loading snowy skis and boots here inside the living space of the van causes a lot of complications. One, just the sheer bulk of skis, boots on top of already our ski gear, our winter gear, makes it so you really can't move around the interior of the van. And then two, whether we're going swimming and now we have wet swim gear, or if we've got melting snow that's coming off said skis, then there's really, the water issue inside the van is not something that I want to be tackling on a regular basis. The van and the floor wasn't made to be waterproof, and moisture inside of vehicles always causes issues. What I really want to do is, and I know that there's off-the-shelf solutions, and I'm exploring those, but they are they're very expensive, and two, very few of them are really optimized or built for low roof NCV3s, this generation of van, and that causes complications for me. But what I really want to do is on the back of the van have on the driver's side a camp box where I can put things like firewood, our axes, camping, that style of camping gear, and then the spare tire on top. And then on the passenger side, do a nice tall box that goes from the top of the roof all the way down to the bumper. None of us are over 6 feet tall in the family, so I don't need a super tall box for skis. I need ones that can fit for me at 5'8", and that height is perfect. So going from bumper all the way to the roof, do a nice tall box, maybe integrating some form of weep or drainage holes in the bottom. That way as the snow or water melts off and drains, it can go straight out the bottom. But having that rear door storage would really improve our ability to just dive into activities, put our used gear away, let them dry, let them stay pristine, and then move on to the next step of the day, wherever we're going to food or whether we're going back to wherever we're lodging, whether we're staying in the van. And that would be really cool because it would also open up the ability for us to dry gear at night in the wintertime and still stay in the van. Right now, typically when we go skiing, we have to get a separate lodging facility, either an Airbnb or a hotel, just because we don't have the space in here for all of our gear to dry. And if we're doing 2-3 days of light skiing, then having all of that gear trying to dry in this little space is just, it's not impossible, but it's very difficult to do. So adding that rear door storage would be a world of difference for us. The project that I'm most excited about, though, is adding a roof rack that wraps around my pop top. One of the downsides to installing, I think, most, if not all, of the pop tops is that they delete and cover up the factory roof rails. And so we had to remove the roof rails entirely when we installed the GT-RV pop top. I still have section of sheet metal. I've got about 12 to 8 inches to the rear, 12 to 8 inches of sheet metal towards the front. And I want to fabricate a Prinzu style roof rack that goes around the pop top. And this would give us a lot of capability. The most important would be a 270-degree awning, wraparound awning. It would also give me a mounting point for additional lighting. I'd love to do a light bar up front and some white lights in the rear to help with backing up and setting up camp. And then also it'd be really cool to add 4 cameras on each corner, front, 2 on the side, one to the rear, and have a bird's eye view, or maybe even a 24/7 DVR, especially for when we're going through cityscapes, being able to just track traffic around us, maybe even being able to monitor the van when I'm away from it in those urban areas. I think that'd be a lot of capability, and that'd be really cool. But again, the 270-degree awning would be probably the most impactful way, most impactful project for us in the way that we use the van. For blazing hot sunny days here in Texas, all the way to snowy days up in Colorado, having a 270-degree awning that wraps from the sliding door all the way here over our camp kitchen would be huge. I have no desire to have my kitchen inside the van for all of the vapor, all the spills. I like having it self-contained. I love my kitchen box and the way that I built it. I've got this deployable prep table that I can set up off to the side. I've got all my tools right here. It's heavy as hell, but my wife and I can together pick this up. It's got its own legs. We can set it up off to the side in a dedicated camp space. And I am just very proud of the way, and I really enjoy using this camp system. So it works for me. But having that 270-degree awning providing coverage on the sliding door for rain and snow, and back here for cooking in those conditions would make a world of difference. There was a company out of, I believe it was North Carolina, called Kinsman, that had a beautiful square-shaped 270-degree awning built out of steel piping. And they had some videos of testing it, of having it fully deployed and driving at, I think it was 45 miles an hour. And it's flapping in the wind, but it's not distorting. Sadly, it seems that they've shuttered their doors, but I have found a video online of somebody else who fabricated their own using the same pattern. So I've been on the hunt for finding somebody who can teach me how to fabricate out of metal. It's something that I've always wanted to learn how to do. And I think that I found a resource down in San Antonio that I can travel to on the weekends and learn a lot of the capacity and a lot of the skill sets there. So building out first the roof rack and making custom mounts using what sheet metal that we have, and then fabricating the 270-degree awning. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me. Those are the next 5 items as I consider this next evolution of the van. As I've said before, and a little bit backwards, the van is always enough, but it's also never done. And as a constant iterative process, I'm always looking for ways to improve, specifically tailoring it to the way that me and my family travel. So thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more of the behind the scenes, and you'd like to have more of a conversation with me about how I tackle and have tackled specific elements of the van build out, or places that we've traveled to, things that we've seen, then please consider checking out my Patreon page, which I have linked down below. And if that's of interest to you, then please consider subscribing there as well. But with that, I really appreciate your time and attention. As I build out the channel, I'm really hoping that this format is going to lend itself to helping me build out more of the projects in the van and do some more ambitious trips with the family. So you joining me along the way means a lot. So with that, thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.